Polls have now fully closed in Georgia, where voters will be making their choice for the last remaining Senate race in the nation. Democratic incumbent Senator Raphael Warnock is facing off against Republican Herschel Walker. Democrats already have the majority in the Senate with 50 seats to Republicans' 49. A 50-50 split would force Vice President Kamala Harris to cast the tie-breaking vote, while 51-49 would allow Democrats to get their agenda passed more easily. CBS News congressional correspondent Nikole Killion joins us from Atlanta, where she has spent a lot of time. Nikole, nearly 2 million people voted early in this election. So who showed up today?
Well, so far, the Secretary of State's office says that they have seen more than 1 million people vote, and they are on track to potentially break another record. And that would be notable simply because when you combine that with those early vote totals, that represents close to half of the state's active voters. And that is quite significant, given that this is, again, a runoff election, and also that this is a runoff midterm election, which, as you know, we obviously tend to see turn out a little lower during midterms, and certainly we expect a lower turnout during a runoff potentially. But in this case, as Georgia has done many times, defying the odds with their voting turnout numbers, it'll be interesting to see what those final numbers are, but pretty significant total thus far.
And see the total and also the makeup, to the extent that we can figure it out, although we might not be able to. But I've always been interested in those voters. Republican Governor Brian Kemp won in November by nearly 8 points. He won going away, but it was much closer, obviously, in the Senate race. Do you have a sense of kind of who was going after those voters, some of whom voted for the Republican Kemp and then the Democrat Warnock? What do you think happens to those voters? Who did a better job going after them?
Well, to your point, I think it will be quite interesting, and we will see a story emerge out of the final numbers once we get the final vote totals and breakdowns in terms of demographics. But that being said, there was a very aggressive effort on the part of both campaigns to really target those split ticket voters, as well as those voters who simply did not support Herschel Walker in the general election. And that is why you saw a fairly early in the runoff, Herschel Walker bring in Governor Kemp. Now, they did not campaign during the general election, but having that rally with him in mid-November was very important for the campaign. And since then, the governor has cut a number of ads for Herschel Walker, and the campaign has said that they really feel that his turnout operation, too, has been of great assistance to them. But, you know, Senator Warnock was not leaving them to chance either. And so when you look at a lot of his advertising, his messaging, some of the areas that he was targeting, there was quite an emphasis on trying to target those split ticket voters, trying to target more independents, and again, people who may have backed him the first time around, as well as the governor, to try to keep them on board.
We are on the cusp of history in Georgia, which is that whoever wins, they will be the first black senator to win a full 6-year term in Georgia. How much was that a part of the conversation in terms of what that means for this state in the Deep South in America?
Well, it is hugely significant, and keep in mind that Senator Warnock did make history when he became the first black senator from Georgia when he was elected back in 2021. But to your point, obviously, this time, whoever wins will get that full term. But look, I do think that it is something that has gotten lost in the dialogue, as, you know, there has been so much attention on all of the headlines and the controversies within this campaign. But I will say, in talking to voters, specifically African-American voters, it is not lost on them that you have 2 black men at the top of the ticket. And, you know, we have not seen that anywhere in the country in this particular midterm cycle. And to your point of this being in a state that was once the heart of the Confederacy does mean a lot to many voters here, and was a factor to some in terms of their vote.
Nikole Killion covering history for us in Atlanta. Thank you so much, Nikole.